Welcome everybody, welcome to another episode, second episode of Freehand Sharpening Spyderco Paramilitary 2. And this time, in the second episode, we're going to be using Chosera 1000. This is made by Naniwa, if you're not aware. If you're new to my channel, my name is Robert. I make all kinds of different content, but mostly my content has to do with sharpening sharp objects. Razors, blades, and all that sort of stuff. And then we talk a lot about stones. I have some content about motorcycles and cars, but mostly sharp objects, such as this here, Paramilitary 2. So in my first episode, we use a Chapton 320 to start the sharpening progress or process. And basically what I do with the Chapton 320 is just establishing that edge. It is very aggressive stone, so we are taking all kinds of microchips that possibly could be in a blade. It is a very aggressive, so I don't spend a lot of time on that. I wouldn't consider that the sharpening portion, but more like the joining of the edge. You're just creating that apex. That's a better word. You're creating that apex. What we're gonna do with this stone is the sharpening per se. After this stone, you could totally stop. It will give you a very, but it will give you a toothy edge, very functional and workable edge. It won't be high polished, but it will be an edge that you can totally just, after the 1K, don't do anything else. We're gonna take this one possibly a little bit further, but that's what we're gonna be doing. After this stone, we should be popping hairs off the arm, no issues. And yeah, so this should not be a very long video. So if you saw my first video of this series, change the angle a little bit, got a different camera. I went the back and forth motion quite a lot, and one side onto the burr, roll into the other side, and you can feel it with your fingers. And then I took the burr off by going in the other direction, and the same amount of times, and then we have a nice apex. Right now, that is not necessary at this level. I already have the apex. I don't need to be doing that anymore. So I'm not gonna go crazy on one side and then way into the burr to go to the other side, because I already have established that. So what I do in this situation, put some more water there. This is a splash and go type of stone, really, really good. I'm just gonna be doing the same motion. Like so, but I'm gonna be doing like five at a time, 5 strokes. Like so. So what we're doing is furthering this edge. We are cleaning the scratches from the previous stone, replacing them with 1000 grit scratches. If you do any woodwork, it works the same way as when you're working with furniture or any type of wood work. You know, you go low grit to high grit. If you don't, and then you try to, you know, lacquer it or finish that piece, it's going to be, it's not gonna look very nice, right? You're gonna have those scratches. So, one thing that I do that on a blade like this, because it has that belly right there, that leaf shape, is I lift a little bit as I go to the end. Not a lot. You don't want to lift too much, but I lift just a little bit as I go to the end to get the coverage throughout. So let's do that again. There, I lifted just slightly. Just making sure that the entire edge is touching. And that we are as consistent as possible. With everything with honing and sharpening, consistency is the key. And we establish that consistency by getting rid of any unwanted variables. So if you do the same stroke, same pressure, same everything, it's easier to determine what, if anything, you're doing wrong. Right? So let's inspect that. That was not much. So now what I'm looking at is at the edge itself. I just want to make sure that the scratches from the previous stone have been erased, and we are definitely getting more acute. We're getting sharper. Oh yeah, man, I don't know, my hair is not very long, but let's see if you guys can see it. Nope. Boop. There it is. Still needs some work, but it's popping hair. I don't shave, guys. I was not blessed, I guess, with arm hair, or cursed, however you want to see it. We're gonna go do some more work. The heel of the blade needs some more work. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the same motion, but I'm gonna stay in this path a little bit longer before I sweep. Like this. And what I'm doing there is giving the heel just a tad bit more attention than the rest of the blade. Try to maintain the hands in the same position always. Gives you that consistency. And now I'm doing strokes back and forth because I'm to a point that I don't need to go back. I don't need to go like this or like this anymore. I don't think it's necessary. I'm controlling that burr, and I'm just refining that edge. On a pocket knife, like I mentioned before, this could be a very good stone to just stop right here, depending on what you're doing. Some people don't like highly polished edges. The fingers are there, the offhand are there just to keep consistency. You can do one-handed. But if you do it like this, you're keeping that consistency of that angle, right? Once you have established a good bevel, it's easy to ride on that same bevel. And if you have problems, you can always put it flat and then find the bevel. By just lifting, you're gonna feel it once you're there. If this was like 8CR or 440, this blade would have been sharpened a long time ago. Doesn't take much for those. This is not a super hard metal to sharpen, but it definitely takes a little bit more care than your more budget friendly metals. All right, I think that should be good. You can feel it too as you're doing this. I'm gonna clean a little bit. You can feel it in your hand. You can feel it in that, and you can hear it That's the cool thing about doing this by hand. You can feel it and you can hear the difference once you have erased those scratches from the previous stone. Your stone will feel smoother when you're passing. It won't be like vibrating on your hand as much, and the sound changes. That's why I constantly clean the surface of the stone. After this, I will lap it with my diamond plate. Make sure that this stone is ready for the next time. All right. Looking really good. The edge is the same on both sides. It has not changed the geometry on it. Let's go get some paper. Sorry about that. Let's move this here. All right. Move that paper to get. See where we're standing. Woo-hoo-hoo-y. So, is she ready or what? Now, paper cuts. It's not a parlor trick. It also helps. That test also helps as you're cutting how it feels. If it's snagging, you can tell where it's snagging. All right. So I think we should be good for the next step. This knife is ready. It's popping hair. It's cutting paper. It's sharpened, and I didn't change the angle of the original edge at all, right? And that's what the owner wanted. He didn't want to reprofile it or anything. So what I'm doing right now is basically cleaning that edge from what I did with the paper. I may not like that with that, but next video we are going to be finishing this razor. And this razor, I'm sorry, this knife, Jesus. The owner wants a satin finish on it, so I just text him to make sure if he wants a highly polished. I'll show you how I do my highly polished bevels or edges, and it is a little bit different from what you guys probably see around. So stay tuned for the next video, and catch with you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, hit that bell, all that stuff that every single YouTuber says. Thank you for watching.